So we now come to the last panel discussion of the conference, Data-Driven Banking, Leveraging Big Data and Artificial Intelligence. We are in an era where data is abundant, calling for an ability to harness and interpret this vast information available, especially in the financial sector. Big data and AI are transforming how we make decisions, predict trends, and understand customer needs. To enable us to delve more into these powerful tools that can pave the way for smarter and more informed decision-making strategies, we have with us today our guest speaker, Mr. Balaji Rajagopalan, Chief Technology Officer, SBI. A brief introduction about our guest speaker. Mr. Balaji Rajagopalan, presently Chief Technology Officer, State Bank of India, is an IT veteran with global experience in banking and financial services. Distinguished thought leader with proven, strong techno-functional experience, unique experience in leading IT companies as well as in bank technology group with board-level engagement. As a group technology head in ICICI Bank, he led the complete banking technology, both in India as well as international geographies, of assets and liabilities, digital channel services, trade finance, payment systems, treasury capital markets, etc. across all businesses in ICICI Bank. He also led the intelligent automation for the bank. So I call upon Mr. Balaji Rajagopalan to kindly come over to the dais and deliver his guest speech. A round of applause here.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for this opportunity. Well, I was given 20 minutes. I'm not sure whether we are on time, so thank you. So when we talk about data-driven banking as such, all of you know that in the last 2 decades, the power of data in terms of rich data, what we had in the early 2000s versus what we have currently, both internal and external data. For all the financial institutions, first of all, thanks for this opportunity. Thanks to IBF, thanks to all the participants. The topic given as such, how relevant is data in terms of providing a contextual-based customer service for the bank, for the customers, right? So, for the public, banks are the trust. When it comes to customers expect easy to reach, affordable banking, convenience for the customers in the language, in the mode, and whatever options which I want, whatever products which I want. In the context of data-driven banking as such, we have a huge amount of internal and external data. There are 2 parts which I'm going to cover in this session. One is how do you source the data? Banks do have access to some of the data. Number 2, we also have aggregators, second data, third-party data. And when it comes to data, how do we make sure that we segment the customers rightly, we service them better, we improve the overall efficiency for the bank, we improve the overall customer experience, right? So the sourcing data, making the segmentation, how power of data is going to help to meet these demands, to meet the customer experience, to improve the overall efficiency for the bank. Second part is on how do we achieve the intelligent automation, process automation, to improve the experience of the customers, providing a contextual-based customer service, as well as to make sure that we have a overall efficiency for the bank. A quick snapshot on the kind of data which is available for the banks, financial institutions, any industry for that matter. With the kind of social media, the kind of digital channel adoption, the kind of technology adoption, it's not just the customer servicing channels what we have the data. If you see the second party data, if you look at the third party, I don't need to, because for cost of time I will not get to the details. The power of data, I just want to visualize the richness of data what you have. Each one of you who are sitting here, whether you know or not, entire information is being sourced by some other apps. While the mobile banking which is being offered by the banks are not going to consume this, there are partners, there are advertising, there are marketing campaigns, there are various apps who are going to source this kind of rich data, right? So what does it mean? In terms of corporate as such, We have retail entities, we have the corporate entities. While I touch upon the prospect in terms of sourcing the customer, rights customer, making sure that the due diligence is being done, and are we taking the right, giving credit to the right customers. Into corporates also again, a rich amount of data, both internal and external data, which is there. Internal data is within your bank, what is available with you as from the customer register, with the consensus of the customer. External data again, starting from register of customers. Any registered company have huge amount of data. There's a CIBIL. If you look at retail, there's a Vahan, there's a SARSAI. If you look at trade finance, there's a DGFT. Anything you do export is mandate that in RBI there's a DGFT entry which is there. Which means before you do a credit limit, if you do a LCBG, if you could look at all those trade finance transactions, there's a clear message on the kind of customer, the nature of customer, what goods and exports are being transferred, or what kind of exports we are being, what kind of sanction limit, what is the loyalty, what is the risk involved. So with a combination of internal and external data, our banks
Recording stopped.
Sorry about that. So when it comes to internal and external data, are we using this kind of power of data? I just want to ignite the minds. Most of you will be knowing that, but just want to understand that, look at the kind of data which is available with third party and second party. Account aggregators. Account aggregators has been socialized just now, but the previous set of data which is being exposed, how much are we leveraging on the data? Again, from a retail individual perspective or corporate individual, corporate or retail, the internal and external data. If you need to provide a contextual-based customer service, what the customer wants, if you need to understand what is the need of the customer, we need to have the customer 360 on the holdings with respect to the transactions, the volume of transaction, value of transaction, seasonality of transactions. A guy who's in the farmer who comes to the Vandi gets on a specific day in a week, right? So CIBIL score is not required for the person. For a person who gets a credit on a specific day, is season oriented, that helps him for getting a loan as such. Risk, what are the defaults? Interactions, what kind of interactions? Again, with use of AML, how do we get the sentiment analysis of the customers? Every interaction you do, whether it is a branch, is a call center, is a digital channel, how do you engage with the customer in person, virtually, and get all the interactions? So when we talked about the kind of segmentation based on high level, whether the person is a salaried, is a corporate, and various so on a day-to-day basis, every public individual goes through investment spend in various forms. If we need to do a real customer service for the country, what the customer wants, are we using the power of data in this level of detailing? I'm doing a search for latest car, upcoming cars. I'm doing a search for my student education for my kid. Somebody I'm going to look at for universities. When I do a search of universities, am I looking at tapping the student loan? With all the important information, it varies some stages. I'm a high affluent, I'm looking for luxury watches. I'm looking for a luxury car. Can you say as part of cross-sell upsell, you are eligible for a two-wheeler loan? Not relevant, right? Am I making relevant to the customer? With a country like India, the language is so important. The banking which is reachable, accessible, affordable. So the power of language is extremely important. With a lot of social sites, you really know what is the customer language which is being important. Am I enabling that customer? Am I assisting the banking and enabling him to perform the transaction? And all these are potential. There are a lot of third-party data which is available. I already mentioned you in terms of the online browsing, the kind of the various social media which is available as such. Huge amount of data. How much are we using? And also please be mindful about the DPDP Act. While all of information is available as banks, we need to be mindful about the ethical way of using, being secured, data being protected, secured in consumption, as well as doing persistence with the consensus of the customer. However, are banks collaborating with the partners, with aggregators? Are we using this information rightly and contacting the customers in the right mode, what I want? Not all will be comfortable in taking the call. Somebody will be comfortable in saying that WhatsApp message, you have a pre-approved loan. If you are looking in for, please contact me. Right? Most of us will not be interested in getting a call. So nature of the connecting the customers is also extremely important. And I also touched upon that while banks have limited capabilities in terms of understanding the customer needs, there are a lot of social medias, there are a lot of opportunities where somebody is doing to the social media in terms of knowing the industries, knowing the specific areas, travel. I'm going for international travel. When I do the search of international travels, flights, you need to have the personal loan according for the travel for the international, for the institutions, and so on. So if you look at the top layer, the bottom layer talks about a limited scope for the banks to understand what the customer wants. But are we using the power of the second and third party data? This slide is extremely important because the topic given to me is I'm trying to correlate with the topic being given. Banking related is, are we using the data, the power of data, data-driven banking. Hence this topic, I'm just confined to this topic given to me. Extremely important data. The context of sourcing of data I touched upon. When we talk about various segmentation of customers, then there's a micro segmentation which is periodicity, seasonal oriented. What is the need of the customer? In this particular scenario, again, how do I get the signals from various parties? What is the customer need? At the same time, with internal external data, am I getting the signal hubs with text mining, with a kind of using the NLP engine, using internal external data, and getting the right side, which is what does customer want? Whether it's a prospect or a customer, extremely important. In industries, be confused on what is the usage of AI/ML. The first topic is all about how do I secure the data, how do I get the context of the customer. A new age segment of customer has different expectation. Financial inclusion has different set of expectations. The mode of operations, the kind of what he wants, the convenience in which he wants, right? Start anywhere, resume anywhere. Somebody still wants to get into the branch. Most of the current new age customers, they don't want to get to the branch. How will I have minimal branch visit? But what is the expectation from the customer? At the same time, what are the expectations? If I'm in a hurry to get a two-wheeler loan or a car loan or a housing loan, especially a housing loan, I'm in a hurry, I've decided, I just want to get the deal in the next 10 days. Imagine if I get the right sourcing of the customer at a sense of urgency, reaching out to the customer at the mode in which I want, that's real banking. That's contextual service. No more is branch banking banks. The convenience, the customer, the language, the mode of interaction, the power of data, right? And this is the power of artificial intelligence. When we talk about AI, data is the backbone. That's a rich power information which is useful for processing. What is AI? Will the human assistants with respect to taking the decisions to arrive huge impact. Imagine for the kind and size of customer base and the volume of nation of what we have, is it possible to arrive at this sensing signals manually? Impossible. That's the need for data scientists to arrive at this persona builders, getting the segment of customers, micro segmentation of customers, and getting the real need of the customer. And it's going to be a timely need. Another important slide. Traditionally, legacy banks provide product-based. If you want a savings account, this is my story. If you want a credit card, this is a process. This is a traditional legacy way, right? But I am a customer. What is digital? What is real customer contextual-based customer service? Know me. As a bank, you please know me that who am I? What do I need? What products and services I need? In what form I want? Assist me to do my perform my transaction, affordability, easy access, in my mode of banking which I want, online, digital, virtual, on the move customers reaching out to feet on seat kind of original. So getting all this need, show me that you know me, what holding I have. I have only credit card. If I walk into a branch, if I log into the channel, you should say me, hey, you have a housing loan interest. Last time you inquired for a housing loan. You have a pre-approved housing loan of 1 crore. That's contextual-based customer service. That's the power of data, right? That's the power of AI. Everybody gets confused. AI is going to be disruption. All the you need to know how to use. By saying that last time he has asked for a housing loan interest. Next time if you say that you have 1 crore, what is the risk for the customer? What is it for the bank? A human touch is being achieved. I get an email. You rejected my credit card. You are saying greetings. We have received your mails. There's a static content. There's a dynamic content. You're being rejected for a credit card because of your address not being submitted properly. That's the power of automation. A sentiment analysis, right? So combination of, if you need to move from product-centric to customer-centric, if you need to meet the preference of the customers, if you need to look about the customer experience, if you need to talk about customer satisfaction, loyalty, maximize the sales, then you need to have this power of data. And at the same time, use NLP engine to get this information and also look at the sentiment analysis. I also talked about the 4 important 360 customer, transaction, interactions, and one more, which is arriving the overall customer 360 in all directions, risk, right? If I get this, then you get the relevance of the customer, how to do the customer, meeting the requirements. So I touched upon the sourcing, I touched upon the need for customer data, or rather prospects, the relevant information this reach for decision making. Use AI, virtual assistants, eliminate the huge monotonous jobs, giving you certain critical inputs with a combination of data, internal data, external data, mining, BRE rules, right? And then, how do I improve my customer experience? The next part is, how do I improve my customer experience? Contextual-based customer service. What are the power of AI? The power of AI, I mentioned about something on arriving the segmentation, micro-segmentation, and the various needs of the customer. If I need to, at every touch point, whether it is digital or somebody walks into the branch, the same experience, whether somebody initiates a request from the customer or it is initiated by a particular branch person, right? How do I make sure that I get ease of customers? Usage, customer usage. Intelligent process automation. When I need to complete a trade finance transaction or a cross-border financial transactions, you need to log into multiple systems. How do I make API integrations? For systems which don't have true power of APIs, to complete the trade finance cycle, somebody who's working with the corporates will know the power of integrations in terms of complex integrations. Intelligent process integration, automation is a key need, and I'll just touch upon the next slide. Where all AI can be used in the banks. While you talked about risk, use AI for virtual assistants, not for decision making on day one. You need to know where it is virtual assistants, where it is decision making. Power of automation to improve the overall efficiency, experience, reduce the throughput time. In a month and quarter, all of us have a pressure on meeting a target. There's a stress on the system. Intelligent process automation helps you to meet the consistent throughput time in spite of surge in the volumes. Right? Documents. Starting from onboarding to anything you go to a branch, banks will repeatedly ask you, give me your Aadhaar, give me your KYC documents. Right? We are being stressed by repeatedly asking the same things. The power of document intelligence in terms of document classification. I'll upload a document into the digital channel. How will I identify that, yes, this is the identity document. This is the Aadhaar, this is the so-and-so, right? Passport and so-and-so. Classify it, annotate it. How do I default it? How will I minimize my data entry? How will I scrutinize? If you go to the back office operations, most of you would have seen there's a heavy effort on manual reconciliations. What is punched in the system, what is in the document? Similarly, in terms of conversation AI, government is looking in for all the government services introducing natural language programming in terms of every language which is there, so that in the language of the customer's preferred choice, somebody is able to do the customer service. Conversation AI building a chatbot which is enterprise, whether it is branch, channel, have one NLP engine. Whether I walk into a branch, I go to the channel, the example of housing loan interest which I gave. Second time I log in, if you say, hey, you asked for a housing loan, you got a 1 crore. That's the power of AI. What is risk in this? Absolutely nothing, right? It's a human touch. You are getting the customer virtually assisted as if in-person RM, right? The power of language. So whether it is customer, branch, you get the seamless experience. Facial recognition. Again, facial coordinates has 512 coordinates. So all of these I've implemented in my last 10 years. The facial recognition, again, if there's a negative list, before you onboard a customer, how do you ensure that this customer is not part of negative list? I have 1 lakh negative list images. Every photo has 512 coordinates based on which there's a scorecard vector which comes in. Yeah? If I pass a customer applicant and check 80% threshold matching with this negative list, that's the power of facial recognition. That's the power of AI. Tell me what is risk. Instead of searching, remembering for 1 lakh negative list and just giving the API which says, These are the matching APIs, images with 80% match. That's the power of facial recognition. Email, again, already told you, there are lot of still banks promote, encouraging AI, email on the communications part, but I think we should move towards the Amazon types where customer-based service requests being request based on product, categories, and then do the filtering. The largest banks, we always struggle, get branches getting emails. How do I coordinate? How do I even know that emails are being responded back to branches? All our customer services should be start getting into Amazon kind of thing. How many of you have used Amazon contact of call center? Very rare. Yeah, but if you want to put it, you have a categorization. This particular product, you are giving some drop downs. He forces you to fill up the drop down. He will not allow you to do that. We are still encouraging people to fill up the emails, and imagine then we have a given actionable to the branches, circles. You come with the email AML bot, gave me how many emails are being responded. Is at the efficiency. Of course, you can do if that email is centralized. Like for example, when I was working in ICICI, I have some 20, 30 centralized emails. So there were 300 people who were working on only to responding to those mails, and I've integrated. Next minute, you will get automated message. The credit card call center, the service which I mentioned, reason for credit card, instant response. It connects to the host systems. It gives auto response. So I'll keep going on and on. Co-browsing is again which is required for corporates where the screen sharing kind of thing in a secured mode. You can always do wherever there are experience of corporate transactions which are very complex, trade finance kind of transactions, customers struggling, you get a virtual RM who can integrate and then solve the problems. So to summarize, data is going to be the rich power information which is used for giving a contextual-based customer service. The sourcing of information, we have a huge amount of data. Banks, financial institutions should collaborate, work in a collaborated manner to get ethical, safe, secure, respecting the DPP Act, while the data is literally being leaked in different forms by the customer because of awareness issues. Banks are still under the responsibility of malware attacks, cyber attack, all those frauds. But as banks, we have to be cognizant about how we protect our mobile banking, internet banking channel systems. At the same time, how do we be mindful about consensus of customer? And with respect to the sourcing of data, I already touched upon how much information available. I just want you guys to only visualize and think about in your respective banks how we are going to consume this data, improve the efficiency, and be relevant for the customers. So thanks for the opportunity. Thank you.
Please come on stage.
Thank you, Mr. Rajagopalan. What we understand from your entire presentation, data is the new currency. And data has to be used for the benefit of the customers, customer-centric. And particularly the last slide, the data automation will be useful not only for the in India and the participants from other countries also. Thank you for sharing all this. And thank you for